Whoa. Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. This video is about the Griego Knives Achilles folding knife. And the intro part that you guys saw just before this was basically my unboxing experience. So this is the items that it comes with. Of course, there was a cardboard box, a small little box, but that's out of frame right now. But we have the COA as well as some Anthony Griego swag, Griego Knives AG, Anthony Griego, that's his name. The Achilles knife, number 9, blade material is made of S35VN and the handle is titanium, made on the 13th of October this year, and his signature. So the reason why I'm making this video, guys, I mean, you could call it a review, but I'm not gonna call it a review, just call it whatever you want, but it is a video about the Achilles. The reason why I'm making it is because I realized that I wasn't able to find any information about this beautiful knife online, except for any posts on the Griego Knives Instagram account. But I'm talking about like information about it, like size and material and grinds and all that kind of stuff. So this is the reason why I'm making this video, and Anthony is aware of this. So Anthony, I want to tell you that I'm really impressed with this knife. This is my very first custom knife and I'm really happy and a super proud owner of this beauty right here. So I'm going to give you guys quick specs. I mean, you already know that the handles are made of titanium, but it is a stone washed finish, and this version has these 3 circular slots milled out with a high polished, I guess this is what you call the countersinking chamfers, but that's high polish. And we have a very nicely brushed back spacer here, and then we have on the other side a very nice Spartan clip, and this clip is made by EOS for Griego Knives, and I'm gonna tell you, this is so cool. And last but not least, of course, we have the blade itself. This is also stone washed and it is a TANTO style blade, and this is really interesting because this is the first time I'm seeing a flat grind as well as a hollow grind on a TANTO, and I'm nothing short of impressed here, really. And yeah, since we're talking about the blade, it is made of S35VN steel, very good edge retention, and it is running on ceramic bearings. And now I'm going to be talking to you guys about the dimensions, and overall it is just about 7 inches long. Okay, I mean, pardon me, I'm just using a ruler, and the camera lens is a little bit curved on the outside here, so you have to pardon that as well. But total length is about 7 inches. Blade length is just under 3 inches, which makes it super legal for almost everywhere. The actual cutting blade length is about 2 3/4 inches. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys everything in inches, because I live in Singapore and it's the metric system here. But anyway, blade stock is, I don't even know what this is, guys. What is that? What is that? What is that? Okay, so anyway, back again at this angle, handle length is about 4 inches and the actual grip length is about 3.5 inches. Total blade thickness is just about half an inch, a little bit more than half an inch. Now I'm going to give you guys a quick size comparison, and we have here, first of all, a Ferrum Forge Falcon. They're almost alike in terms of size. Next up, we have a CRKT Pilar. Yes, I'm calling it the Pilar now, and the Pilar is slightly smaller. I'm gonna move the Falcon out of the way. And last but not least, we have a Delica 4 Spyderco, almost about the same size, or the same length I should say overall, as a Spyderco Delica. Now I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the story of this knife. So there's actually a backstory of why this is called the Achilles knife, and the story was because Anthony was involved in an unfortunate accident where he was moving a bandsaw with one of his best friends, his closest friends, and the bandsaw dropped and severed his Achilles tendon. And so during the time when he wasn't able to walk, he decided to focus work on a flipper, and thus this blade was born. And so he asked his friends for a suggestion of the name, and they suggested, why not you just call it the Achilles? And he thought that was an awesome name, very apt, since it was basically during the time when his Achilles tendon was torn, or severed I should say. And then during the same time also, the Spartan clip was born because he was just basically fighting it, you know, he was being a Spartan about it, and since he's a warrior, he came up with this. And I gotta tell you guys, this is super iconic. Like, this is such a Griego Knives trademark thing. They even have milled Spartan pocket clips for key bars, which is so awesome, and I don't know why I haven't gotten any yet, but it is just really awesome. And when they are on sale again, I'm definitely gonna make sure that I pick one up. So why did I get this? Why? This knife is not being sold on web stores. It is sold only through Instagram over at the Griego Knives Instagram page, and he makes these whenever he can, so he churns them out and they are all individually numbered. And the date today is the 25th of October 2018, and as of to date, apparently there are only 13 Achilles knives ever made, and this one is serial number 9. Now there are a few different styles, and if you guys want to find out what the other styles are, well, you got to check out the Griego Knives Instagram page. Make sure you go give him a visit and make sure you give him a follow, because it's just awesomeness, like non-stop pure awesomeness over there. And well, in a nutshell, there are different handle styles as well as different blade shapes, and I myself, being a fan of beautifully done circular milled slots like this, as well as TANTO blades or TANTO shaped blades, when I saw this going on sale, I was like, no, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm just gonna jump on this immediately. So I just hit him up on Instagram and I managed to snag this one. These Achilles knives are going for about 650-ish. Here or there, depending on where you are. He does ship international, but I opted to ship it domestically so I could use a forwarding service to get it here to Singapore. And the reason why I trust his work is because I actually have one of these. This is the Griego Knives Keybar Cleaver Insert, and I gotta say, man, look at this. That rock style fade, as well as this super well done grind here. And this one is in D2 steel, by the way. To me, at first, I only knew Griego knives for these. Like, I was just really getting into the whole keybar thing, and I really wanted a knife attachment for my keybar. And this one, when I saw it, I was like, it is a cleaver. What in the world? So I just hopped on it and I got it. And the reason why it's not on my keybar is because I actually have another keybar on order. It's actually going through some customization right now, so I'm just waiting for that to be complete, and then I'm gonna put this on that. And the thing is, once I saw this, I knew that Anthony was a master at what he was doing. And to top it off, he's a really nice guy. Like, he's really friendly, really warm, and really easy to chat with. So when I saw this going on sale, I was like, I don't even have to think twice about it. I'm just gonna get it. And boy oh boy, I do not have any regrets. So now that you know the backstory of this, the specs, the size, the dimensions, and all the nitty-gritty, I'm gonna talk to you about the fit and finish, because this is where it really shines. Like I said, this is my first time experiencing a custom knife, and I am super impressed. Here we go. This is the lockup. Very good lockup, and I believe that the lock bar is actually slightly galvanized because there is no lock stick. Did you guys hear any sound? Not at all. Not at all. In its closed position, you could see that the blade centering is perfect. Perfectly centered. It is just so beautiful. Now, looking up here, I realized that there was this little bump here, and that is the detent ball ramp. So there's so many small little touches to this that really just adds to the whole experience of this knife. Like, you don't feel the second bump. You know, sometimes when you disengage a lock bar, you actually feel a second bump, but this one doesn't have that because of that ramp. That is just, it's so amazing. Now, the detent on this is really well done. Look at that. It just sucks the blade in like that. And when you deploy it, it just flies out. Like, that's just... that action is crazy. I've never experienced such a smooth action before, and I've not even opened this up before, you know? I don't even have to. It's just so well made, and everything just works very well. And I do have to mention something. I find this very interesting and I wanted to share this with you guys, and that is, this knife is a thumb stud opener. There's no flipper tab and there's no nail nick. Of course, you could open it with two hands, but you realize that the thumb stud is really close to the scale itself, and that's because the thumb studs also act as the blade stop pin. See? Of course, you have the stop pin as well on the inside. This is to prevent the blade from going too far when you close it up, but for the opening side, this is the stop pin itself, which to me is interesting because of the, I guess you could say, a unique placement. I've not experienced a thumb stud that is so close to the frame before, so I have to admit that initially I had some problems trying to deploy this knife because of that wonderful detent. Now, that detent is actually a good thing, it's just that I was not used to it, so I had to practice a little bit. I spoke to Anthony and asked him for tips, and he told me that a lot of times people accidentally apply some pressure onto the lock bar itself when trying to deploy the knife. And so that made me realize that yes, sometimes my middle finger might slip and it'll be touching the lock bar itself. So the way I hold this blade now is to always have my middle finger on the back of the clip like that, and then my index finger is going to be somewhere around this area, and then my thumb is going to be pressing, and it's a really strange feeling, but I'll be pressing downwards on the thumb stud Like literally I'm pressing it this way. So once I hit a certain point, it just naturally flies out, and it's just so cool. Like check it out, you just gotta push downwards and it'll just, see that? So once I get that in a good smooth action, it just flies open like that. It's something else. This is crazy, and it took me a little while to get used to because I kept watching his Instagram video over and over again. I was thinking, how is he actually making this deploy so easily? Like he just put his thumb on the thumb stud and it just flew out. And then I finally understood. It's just the way that I have to hold it. So this really is something I wanted to point out, because all of us have different hand sizes, right? Depending on the individual. So this is the way I handle it. Now that I've gotten used to the positioning, every single time I just have my ring finger here, my pinky up here against the clip, and then my middle finger will be resting against the back of the clip like that. So this keeps my fingers away from the lock bar. Just every single time it just flies open. It's crazy. Like that action is just nuts. And I really love it. But of course, the more I do it, then I have these marks here. So yes, I do use this quite a lot. I've been flicking this open over and over again. That's just something I wanted to share with you guys, because initially I thought it was gonna be quite a hurdle, you know, that I had to get over. I was even contemplating wanting to sell this away because I wasn't able to deploy it properly. But then I realized very quickly that it's just a case of me needing to spend more time with this and having a little bit more practice. Okay, so now I'm going to continue talking about the fit and finish. You could see the hardware. I believe these are stainless steel hardware, and it's flush, all very flush. The pivot pin on the lock bar side, however, is a little bit recessed in, but it's not an issue because it's like super smooth, because you know the handle or the scales are stone washed. And you have all these slots here, and these slots here of course are for the stop pin as well as the detent ball in here. I think that's how knife makers access the detent ball and just do adjustments and stuff like that. That's what I think. And then of course, since we're talking about things that are flush, the back spacer here is super well done. It is super flush all the way around, and I love all this contrast. Like you could see that uniform stone wash finish on the scales, and then you could see all this polished areas from the hardware as well as the blade on the inside and on the chamfered countersunk slots, and on the flip side of course on the pocket clip as well. So this is really nice. Now I'm going to point out that you can, however, remove the thumb stud. You just have to unscrew it just like that. And I'm going to just show you guys that without the thumb stud, the blade will go beyond where it's meant to be or where it's meant to go. See? And last but not least, in my opinion, the coolest feature is this, the serialization here in the back spacer. See that? Achilles number 9. That's some really nice engraving there, and it's just so cool. I totally don't regret this. I'm so happy and so glad that I was able to snag this off Anthony himself. Man, number 9 and only 13 made so far. This one, really, I guess you could say that I lucked out, and I'm really now a proud owner of a very beautiful Achilles folding pocket knife with a very cool backstory. And that's it everyone for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to make a video talking a little bit more about the Achilles knife because I wasn't able to find any information. And because of that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out Griego Knives on Instagram. I'll put links in the description box below. I'm not sure if you're able to find any of his items on web stores or websites. You could try just run a search for Griego Knives and see what you get. Thank you so much for sticking all the way throughout and sharing in this slice of my life. This is my very first custom knife. Very happy with it. It looks so sleek like that, and it's gonna look badass when I put it in my pocket. Oh, and I failed to mention that this is in a tip-up right side carry configuration. I'm not sure if he's able to reverse the milling for the clip on the other side, because I think that this is actually attached on the inside. I might be wrong. Maybe you could flip it over. I'm not so sure. But don't take my word for it. Just speak to Anthony. He's a really nice guy. I mean, he looks really badass, but he's a really nice guy. Like, he gives me the impression that he's a really gentle giant kind of guy. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for the support, everyone, and I will catch you in the next slice of my life. Till then, everyone, let me just deploy this one more time because deploying it is so awesome. Gaga Boost.